galaxy of stars. From Nicey of Fab FM to Brian Molko of Placebo line up to pay tribute. At last, we offer the methane of publicity to the creative force behind every significant musical innovation of the last 30 years. The story of the invention and reinvention of popular music by the most misused and ill-treated band in history, the Shirehorses. Can it be a coincidence that their Bill Oddity sounds strangely similar to David Bowie's Space Oddity? Or that their career as Gazebo appears an uncanny blueprint for that of Placebo? Rock journalist Stuart McConey.
When you ask who owes the Shirehorses the greatest debt, it would be difficult. It would be easy to think who doesn't owe them a debt, really. I think everyone from Kraftwerk to the Brodsky Quartet. I mean, people took Speed Garage, Underground House. They were doing that in 1971, all that sort of thing. I used to see Ronnie Size at I think it would be the Roadmenders in Ancoats in 1978, hanging around at the back with a notebook. I mean, I'm not saying these people have ripped them off, but I think you can certainly see those things. Kula Shaker, obviously, and I'd like to say if any of Kula Shaker are listening, come clean, just admit it, come clean. Any amount of people, the Smiths, Gentle Giant, King Crimson, Althea and Donna, the Monkees, everybody really.
Jade Gordon of Melody Maker.
The great trailblazers who we thought were perhaps the Bowies and the Velvet Undergrounds and your Beatles and your Stones and all the rest of it. There's an awful lot of stuff there which was clearly coming from the Shirehorses, which we just didn't realise at first. Now that is quite a shocking thing. For me it was almost like finding there was no Santa Claus, and I suddenly realised that there was a secret history unravelling as I listened through to the Shirehorses album.
The Shirehorses were an emotional subject for Neil Hannon of the Divine Comedy.
Well, I first heard the Shirehorses in about 1986. And I took the odd hummable tune, the odd interesting melody, and it became the Divine Comedy.
The Shirehorses were for years a notoriously secretive band, so careful to preserve their mystique that most of their gigs were secret and many of their records were secret. They refused to speak to this programme but did release us a tape of their notorious interview for Pat Coop's Coop Report, recorded on the night when, before an invited group of journalists, they attempted to burn £100 as an artistic subversion of the new millennium. Pat Coop.
Tell me about your first musical incarnation.
That obviously was when we were a laddie name, and we did a song called Bill Oddity. Right, now we went to see Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey, and there was some cats in it. And we were having the dinner just in the background. It's dead subtle, but we like cats, don't we? Yeah. We really like cats. And we wrote Bill Oddity, and then we played the Royal Albert Hall, didn't we?
That's right, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do, because you had that little skimpy jumpsuit on, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And, he was standing there. There's some photos of it. You've probably even you have probably seen those, right? And, what it was, he was shot from the orchestra stalls. Yeah. And, in fact, he caught a glimpse of the orchestra stalls, which I don't know if you're aware of that, but it's street talk for balls. Testicles.
She doesn't know that,
right,
mate.
OK, now,
Thank you.
And what he's trying to say is I had a jumpsuit on, and one of my testicles fell out the side, right?
Thank you very much.
And Dave Bowie was in the audience, and then I discovered bisexuality.
Thank you very much.
Top Fab FM DJ Nicey.
I put on Bill Oddity on the turntable, because of course we used to have turntables in those days before CDs. I hate CDs, don't you? And I played Aladdin Ain on my radio show on Radio Fab FM, quite literally before FM was even invented in the late 60s. I played Aladdin Ain and the Shirehorses were born.
10. 10. Ground beef whiskers for Ginger Tom. 8. 7. Ground beef whiskers for Ginger 5. Tom. Hamilton Academical 1. Stenhouse Muir. Take 17. Your worming pills and put your flea collar on. 2. 1. Now.
This is Ginger Tom for David Soul. I'm puking on the floor. The room is floating in a most peculiar way. Some bastards like my whiskers had food yesterday.
And I thought it was absolutely wonderful. This was the best record that I had ever heard. And I got on the phone to the Shirehorses, and imagine my surprise and delight when they turned out to be 4 extremely attractive young men, and I invited them out for dinner, and the rest is personal.
Of course, by the time Nicey was championing Bill Oddity, the chameleon-like Shirehorses were already reinventing themselves. The jumpsuits were replaced by the now legendary mirrored codpiece and flamboyant nasal hair. It needed only the discovery of a wardrobe full of old German uniforms to perfect the image not only of their new band, Spade, but also to plant the first seeds of glam rock itself. So how did Spade come about?
I mean, like, well, the whole glam rock thing, really, that we got into as Spade, was that, like, he enjoyed wearing codpieces, really.
Yeah.
And he had this big codpiece on that he made out of a cricket box, actually.
Yeah.
And behind the cricket box, you had 2 cricket balls, didn't you?
I did.
You know, and it looked good.
Yeah.
Noddy Holder of Slade.
Well, actually, I first saw the Shirehorses way back in 1972. It was on a German tour. And I knew I was seeing something very special the first time I saw them, because they all came on stage. They were all wearing Kaiser helmets and jack boots. So I knew immediately they got this massive charisma that you just couldn't ignore. And the crowd just went crazy for them.
Again.
Well, actually, it is true. I owe everything to the Shirehorses. When I first heard Come On Squeeze Me Boils, the melody was so subtle and the lyrics so deep and meaningful. I thought, well, you've got to rip off this song, you know, because it could really make it work for my band Slade. I knew it could be a big hit record if we just took it just that little bit further.
As the 70s wore on, music was becoming stale, even for the mighty Shirehorses. Spade, obliged by contractual error to produce a single an hour and 20 minutes long, were forced to invent prog rock. They briefly tried to pass themselves off as an all-girl band, Sister Slay, but aside from inventing disco, the project was a failure. To escape all the pomp and gloss, they moved to New York. For the history of music, a new chapter began. Mark Radcliffe.
Well, you know, we were in New York because obviously we were having a year out, weren't we, for tax reasons.
That's right.
And we used to go to this club called, what was it called?
EBGB's.
EBGB's, right. And, you know, obviously, Richard L come in one day, and he come in and he got his jumper held together with a safety pin. Now, we've been doing that since school, haven't we?
Of course we have.
You know, he just nicked it off us.
And you know, like, we were there, we were playing at EBGB, and there was this tall gangly bloke at the back, right? And he's called, like, Joey Gusset, right?
Yeah.
He came, and he went to see the Ramones. The next morning, what was his name? Joey Ramone. You don't have to be the brain of Britain to work that one out, do you?
No, it took you a while.
Took me a couple of weeks. But, you know, we created it all.
Let's do FIFA! Hey, oh, where's Joe? Hey, oh, where's Joe? Hey, oh, where's Joe? Hey, oh, where's Joe? He's not in the kitchen. He's not in the car seat. He's not in the morning room. Joe's up. He's not in the garden or in the bedroom with a hard on. Oh, I beg your pardon. Joe's up. Oi, oh, where's Joe? Oi, oi, oh, Finnack. Pardon. Let's do FIFA!
The punk was not easy for its creators. The lack of public recognition drove the hapless boy Lard to leave the band.
The 1980s have been called your missing decade. Where were you?
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, we were struggling a bit. I'd had enough of, like, you know, all this sort of, like, reinventing the wheel, you know. I mean, I was browbeaten. I went and joined The Fall, right? And that was just for a bit of light relief. You know, I mean, we used to do tours with the Grumbleweeds and that on the nights. You know, the Barron Nights?
Barron Nights.
However, having once been in the greatest band in the world, Lard couldn't face being in The Fall forever. Rumour has it that he ended up in Australia trying to land a role as a woman in a soap opera. But that was before Mark Radcliffe went looking for him.
You know, I mean, the thing that happened really was that, again, we were there before anyone else. You know, Australia, the music, before we invented any Australian music, was basically two Aborigines knocking sticks together, like that.
It was good.
It was world music. Andy Kershaw gave him a session.
Yeah.
But we thought, you know, there's virgin territory. We'll get over to Australia and be Australian, and I formed this band, Dick Cave and his Bad Cheese.
Yeah.
And now he was trying to get, he'd got this idea for a soap opera about a load of people who live next door to each other. Right? And it was called A Load of People Who Live Next Door to Each Other. And the tune went, a load of people who live next door to each other should be nice to one another. A load of people who live next door to each other. You know, and it's a bit of a mouthful again, and we thought, well, it wasn't right.
Well, not quite right.
Riley Minogue, he was called.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, fine, thanks, yeah. And so I thought, well, I'll take him on. So we had Dick Cave and the Bad Cheese featuring Riley Minogue. And we did a song called A Hapless Boy Lad.
Yeah.
And like years later, someone else, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Bad Seeds, what a name!
Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
I mean, they nicked it all off us. And they did Where the Wild Roses Grow. And again, you know, I mean, separated at birth, them two records.
It's a joke.
They call me the hapless boy Lard. Why they call me that, I do not know.
Because you're a great useless tosser.
I suppose so.
The first day I saw him, I knew he was the one. Glazed over eyes and hillbilly smile. His cheeks were the tone of his blood-red sweater, and the cheeks on his face were much better.
When I knocked on the door and I entered the room, I'll never forget that look on his face. He would be my first man, and with my careful hand, I went fancy brew.
With him already, when Roger Bannister called me on the phone, he said Bruno Brooks had to go. You can have your own show, but you'll have to bring Lard. You can't do it on your own.
So I got started in showbiz on Radio 1, and after 2 weeks all the listeners had gone, but at least it's a start, it's a foot in the door.
Now I'm stuck with this tosser forevermore.
At the start of the 1990s, the Shirehorses returned to England, but at this point the story becomes a little confused. Few could doubt their claim to be massively influential, but the die-hard cynics doubted whether they had in fact invented girl bands, Riot Girl and even girl power. For Mark and Lard, it is a sensitive issue.
I mean, the thing is, you know, let's just take a quiet moment to reflect here. I mean, the thing, you know, the gender question. Are we so hooked on gender?
Does it matter?
In the enlightened 90s?
Does it really
girls,
matter?
Boys, girls, in-betweens,
boys,
eunuchs, right? You know, I mean, we invented all of these things. We don't try and kind of demark between gender. We wouldn't be so on PC.
No.
You know, so to say that we didn't invent girl bands because we're not girls is such a facile analysis of that situation that it beggars belief, really.
Video. Don't want to have Shandy on my own again tonight. Well, I still refuse to wear those crotchless tights.
Journalist Jade Gordon.
I do think the Shirehorses is right in saying that they brought gender to rock music. The kind of flush song and the cheaper song definitely blurred those lines. I think it was, and basically they made a kind of rock music palatable for women that hadn't been palatable for women before. And Sleeper and Lush obviously saw this and realised to take it further and to actually have women singing these songs about the sexual games that the Shirehorses had written about.
Mark Radcliffe certainly recognised something of the Shirehorses in the Sleeper song.
Ugly bleeder, in-betweener. But, you know, I mean, it is exactly the same, really. You know, but I mean, you know, we like Louise, and to be honest, you know, she's admitted that it was a seminal influence.
Shopping for knickers, got the weekend to get through. A nice pair of rifles and a bubble perm hairdo. We've got a few quid now, we are in Clover. With a bit of luck tonight, I'll get my leg over. 10 pints and some beer nuts and a pebble dash bathroom. Wipe myself down and I was back in full bloom. But Lord, you look gorgeous, we've no chance of snogging. You're a physical freak and your banter is bobbins. I pulled last night. Yeah, but she dropped off a fast getaway. I pulled a wench despite my stench. She had a face just like a welder's bench. Now that's not true, I must argue. She's the best that I will ever do. She was not special. She looked the part. Lord, she was dog rough. She had a good heart. I think I told you right from the start. What? You were just an ugly bleed. What? Just an ugly bleed. Go on, say it. Just an ugly bleeder. Oh, Lord, you broke my nose now. I'll never get off in the race. Well, I don't believe the bass player's a bit desperate anyway. Don't give me the bass player, you godless twat. You're looking lad anyway. You only call me godless. I've tried to call me godless. I'll never get off with anybody because I hang around with you. It's pathetic. I'm not an ugly guy. I'm dead handsome and in show business. It's you, you hold me back, you fat twat. I'll bet you give you that in and do it. You can't get a fight compared to you.
For a time, we tried to contact them by radio. Radio.
The Shirehorses have been through innumerable changes over the years, but the creative heart of the band has always been Mark Radcliffe, drums and vocals, and Mark Riley, guitar and vocals. Pat Coop tried to discover what makes them tick.
A glance at the Shirehorses family tree shows that the lineup of the band has seldom been stable.
Stable.
Is that a joke?
Nice, stable. See, you get, chill out, babe. I've won her over, she fancies me.
Yeah, really, it's been very difficult. There's been very few people in the band apart from us, because, you know, no one comes up to our standard. Really.
No.
Noddy Holder.
Yeah, I think Lard's got the makings of to be the best guitarist ever. He's an incredible player.
That's it, tease them, our kid, tease them.
He's got a bit of Hendrix in there, he's got a bit of B.B. King in there.
Again.
And I think he can only get better. He'll get better and better as time goes on, especially when he starts using 6 strings on his guitar. He'll really, he'll take over the world.
Former Fab FM DJ Nicey.
Mark Radcliffe, of course, a Karen Carpenter for the 90s in a fat, atrocious type way rather than a slimmungus type way. Mark really is a great young friend of mine. I've adored him for many years, talent-wise, and he certainly knows how to blow a trumpet. Certainly blown mine enough.
Top comedian and percussion expert Stuart Lee.
I think Radcliffe's drumming's very good. I mean, over the years, you hear those classic Radcliffe breaks being sampled, and it's good that there are a lot of kids here tonight, but they don't know that those samples actually came from Shirehorses records, and when they hear them, they'll realise where they've come from, and I think they'll go and get all their Public Enemy albums and Ice-T albums and just smash them to bits.
With such a burden of talent upon their backs, the Shirehorses' relationships with other artists have sometimes been difficult. Pat Coop risked the band's notoriously short tempers to ask them about one long-running dispute.
You can hardly expect me not to mention the name of Edwin Collins. As we all know, he feels his life was almost ruined by the Shirehorses.
Yeah.
And to be fair, his song Girl Like You was released a year before your song of the same name.
Prove it.
How can you claim he stole it from you?
Why are you insisting on perpetuating this? You know, we wrote Girl Like You, Aya. Right?
Yeah.
Called it was just a solo thing for him, really, Edwin Bobbins.
Yeah.
You know, and you left it in your pocket, didn't you?
Yeah.
You sent your jacket to the dry cleaners. You got back there, it was a stupid tartan jacket. They said, this is your
You know, it
jacket,
had like a
Mr.
raccoon hat,
But
you know.
They said this has got Edwin Collins on it, not Edwin Bobbins.
Edwin Collins would not speak to us, but he does like and trust Sean Hughes. And only a few pieces of silver later, Sean cornered.
The Shirehorses first together.
We did, yeah.
See, I'm a big fan, and hence I'm here tonight. But the weird thing is, I think they kind of go for an idea, and then they kind of dismiss it, and they have so many good ideas that other people of lesser talent who heard them play the song just went, we can do some stuff with this.
I'm not, I don't know too much about the other songs, but in the case of my song, that song called Girl Like You.
You didn't nick that from them, did you?
Well, that's what they're claiming, yeah.
I've never known a girl like you before.
Oh, yeah.
Your ass is hairy and a little raw. Here come a knocking on the door. I use a very silly cow, I told you before. Chin's rattle. Do you have to spot that bushy beard on your jaw? Like I've never met a girl like you before.
Oh, yeah.
Devil for me. We took it on a picnic down to Southend-on-Sea. Did you have to cut your testicles in Dairy? And how long have you had cobblers and lingerie? And I've never met a girl like you before.
Oh, yeah.
Edwin Collins again.
I think in some ways, me and Lard particularly go back a long way, but I think he's a despicable character. Because everyone knows I made the song up.
Girl Like You was released a year before your
We
song.
know that because he put it out himself. We were just looking for a deal at the time. We were between deals.
Yeah, I mean, you can't judge it by when things were released, I mean, some of our things were released 40
but it
years
was released a year before your song.
You said
Yeah, but I just told
Yes, I
you.
know.
He found
You
the
said-
tape.
Look,
Right, you
look,
said
Are you
that.
stupid?
Stop.
Are you
Just
stupid?
Shut up. Just shut the up.
Stuart McConey.
We at the NME, we've always had a lot of time for them because they plough a kind of lonely furrow. A lot of bands going for, popularity. It's such an easy thing to do, to be good, popular, successful. A lot of bands do that, and they've rejected that easy route. They've consistently been unpopular, quite difficult, argumentative, and I kind of like that. I mean, you know, a lot of groups just say, oh, well, we're in it for the girls, or we're in it to sell records. I mean, they are too, but I think it's fantastic how they've kind of, in the face of almost complete public indifference, have soldiered on. I think it's marvellous. And of course they have been fantastically influential, never really credited. I mean, most bands owe them a major debt.
What does that spell? I'll tell you later. Remember that tank top I bought you?
Yes, but you wrote I'm a tosspot on it.
I took you shopping on Saturday morning.
Yes, you made me wear a bonnet.
I took a video camera.
You filmed me naked in Cheeto.
Yeah, but I checked first that there was no one about.
Yes, then you sent it to Jeremy Beadle.
I did, because you're gormless.
But I'd do anything for you.
Yes, but you're gormless.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
It is true.
All right.
I told you your clothes were manky.
You threw away my Armani shirt.
I rubbed an ice cube on your bits.
Oh, you did. Blooming heck. That hurt.
Wussy.
Anyway, you just think I'm cheap.
I gave you 20 quid.
Yes, you did. That's for cleaning the bog for the next 5 years.
But you'll probably forget to do under the lid.
Why?
Because you're gormless.
But I'd do anything for you.
Yes, but you're gormless.
Now you mention it. I suppose that's true. Actually, no, it's not.
It is true.
No, it's not.
It is true.
I've got grammar school education.
You haven't?
I have.
You left before you took any exams,
That's got nothing to do. I'm quite bright. I've got a lot of common sense.
You got unclassified in basket weaving.
I did. Yeah, well, I don't anyway. No, I'm a nice...
You're Gormless, another Shirehorses classic, which sounds strangely familiar. But Mark and Lard don't hesitate to name the band they believe owes them the biggest debt.
You would have to say Moronico.
Moronico, yeah.
I mean, like, because we what was it, that band you were in, right?
No Order.
No Order.
Yeah.
Right, before that, I was just a female vocalist, Joy Davidson.
Right.
Right, now there were these blokes, and they nicked it, they called themselves Joy Division.
Oh.
Right, and you know, and then you was New Order.
New Order.
Right, and what were you calling yourself when you were on the bass?
Oh, I can't remember.
You were calling yourself Captain Up, weren't you?
Yeah, something like
right,
that.
Captain Up, and he played his bass dead low. In fact, he played it so low, he had a Shepherd's Minicaster on the bottom like that. Then this bloke out of New Order, what's he called? Peter Hookie. Right, he started doing it. He formed this band called Monaco. We were already called Moronico.
Yeah, look at that.
Actually...
Look at my shins there, all chaffed from when I used to play my bass low.
Do you have to use such language?
Oh,
this is supposed to be a straightforward interview.
All right. You know,
Thank you.
I'm not answering. You can't leave it there. I'm telling you the most important thing. If you listen to Monaco's record and you listen to Moronico's record, there are actually not just copies, but sections of the same
music,
same recording in there. You know, just listen for yourself.
This is our new song. We think that it's alright. It's got a good hook line, but the lyrics absolutely shite. Here comes the chorus. This is a quite good bit. But if we're honest, we're struggling with the words a bit. Sha-la-la, la-la-la-la, sha-la-la, la-la-la-la, sha-la-la. I wandered lonely as a cloud. You've pinched that off Wordsworth. Well, isn't that allowed? Of course it's not. What do you mean? We've got to write our own words, or Wordsworth's lawyer will nobble us. Well, I'll give it a go, our kid. Tra-la-la-dee-dum. You cobblers. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. 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 Sha-la-la. Low, slow, bass solo. Sha-la-la-la-la-la.
After all these thankless years of struggle, 1997 has been an astonishing time for the Shirehorses. The organisers of Glastonbury Festival, determined to be absolutely certain that at least a few dozen people would show up, took the bit between their teeth and raised the finance to have the Shirehorses headline the coveted early Friday morning slot. And needless to say, the Shirehorses broke in a whole new audience. Chris Helm, of the curiously named Seahorses.
Became aware of the Shirehorses when we were at Glastonbury, and I don't know, it's just, they were just brilliant. They were mind-bogglingly good. It was incredible.
And to hear it from the horse's mouth, the Coop Report.
After all those difficult years, the Shirehorses now reign supreme.
Thank you.
Did opening the Glastonbury Festival this year feel like a long-awaited coronation?
That's the first appropriate image that you've come up with
Respect is
in
due.
this interview, if I might say so.
Respect is due.
I think, we did really feel that we had to come back to take our crown.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at that, the Glastonbury Festival of this year, a lot of effort was put into recreating the site as a farmyard, and we wanted it knee-deep in shit, didn't we, to kind of give it a Shirehorse image, And they said to us, do you want a headline? And we said, yes, we do, of course we want a bloody headline.
What a stupid question.
Let's get on there, 10 o'clock Friday morning, position number 1, first band on.
Yeah.
You can't get any better than that,
No.
And we also cared about the fans. Because we wanted to play for them and then let them go home. They don't want to sit around watching shit like, what's that? Radiogram, is it called?
Radiohead.
Radiohead, is it?
I heard them going on about, it was such an emotional experience playing Glastonbury, hell, honestly, give me strength. They were on, when it was dark on Saturday night,
No one could see them.
Of course, for those in the know, the highlight of the festival that year was not the Shirehorses' appearance on the main stage, but a quiet candlelit tent high on the green fields of Glastonbury. There, unrecorded, and before an audience of just 5 northern lads who happened to be on the way to a gig of their own, the Shirehorses premiered their tribute to the majesty of nature.
Country boy, reap some hay. Country boy, what you swearing at? I'll give you that. You lads are all the same. Aye, you're bloody lazy. You drive me chuffing crazy. Now what you winking at? You know I'm not like that. Keep your mind on cutting grass and off my hairy ass. You're now a bleeder, but I need you, and I love you just the same. How many times must a young lad beg to get his hands on your middle leg? You're my kind of guy, you're a big strapping laddie. Let me take you home and play mummies and daddies. Sort of, sonny, I'm not that way, but you are. West Country boy. Put your hands on, put your hands on. Go on, I dares you. Ooh, put your hands on, put your hands on. Hey, country boy, what are you staring at? You randy little twat. Keep your mind on cutting edge and off my mid to bed. Lie with me on this hillock. You're a pillar, but I love you just the same. What a prophet here. How many times must a young lad beg to get his hands on your middle leg? You're my kind of guy, you're a big strapping laddie. Let me take you home and play mummies and daddies. Oh, sort of, sonny, I'm not that way, but you are. West Country boy, put it away. What do that target, Bucket? You scrumpy, guzzling, carrot-crunching tossball.
Magnificent though West Country Boy is, it took another new song to convince Jay Gordon of Melody Maker that the Shirehorses were a greater band than rival Brit sensation Oasis.
Feel like Shay, I think it's possibly for me the Shirehorses' greatest achievement. It's got such a depth. What it really is about men coming to their middle age and finding that there are different roads that they might have to go down. It's almost to me like T.S. Eliot's the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, where you suddenly come to a time in your life when you begin to do the things that you once laughed at. It's about the death of youth, and I think particularly Lard's there are moments of such melancholy and sadness in Lard's voice when he sings that song. I thought it was very, very touching. Approaching a subject subject which rock music traditionally just doesn't look at. You know, aging rather than being young forever. The opposite of what Oasis are doing possibly, and for that reason, much more depth.
We are old, we are cheap, take our teeth out when we sleep. Got no friends, bad eyesight, feel like shite. We stop in, we do nout, stroke the cat, put it out, smoke a pipe, if we like, feel like shite. Do we like stew? We can't be sure. We have soup, but no teeth, we suck up through a straw, cause we are old, we're clapped out, we're infirm, mope about, smell of wee, support tight, feel like shite. Bollocks to it.
After that, Pulp's Help the Aged hardly seems like the cutting edge of grand dad rock. Of course, such searing honesty is what we now recognise as a hallmark of the later work of the Shirehorses. Indeed, they've been equally fearless in penning anthems to Lard's dietary problem and ballads of sexual inadequacy. Mark and Lard.
The sexual inadequacy thing is obviously ironic.
Yeah.
You know, obviously if you are, a major rock god, certain opportunities come your way. And you don't look a gift horse in the mouth or in any other orifice.
No.
But I remember being fat. You know, that was the thing about the essence of Lardy Boy, you know, by Gazebo, Placebo.
They admit it, though. They're decent. They're
At least
decent.
I admit it. You know, that was Lardy Boy. It was the essence of being fat in rock and roll.
Brian Mulcahy of Placebo.
The first Shirehorses song I ever heard was the original version of White Rabbit, and it was about Lard going down to the pub. You know, Jefferson Airplane's version is about, like, identity, is about psychedelic drugs, it's about basically, like, personality changes. And who cares about that, right?
Alcoholic, nice and rude, in his undies and his shoes, cruising for a piece of fun. Get to it! Woo-hoo! The bus! Different partner every night. All fat nippers talking shit, making gas. What a great big lad he has. And he always breaks wind in half a poster, using his bum cakes as a toaster. Pain in the arse, making a part of TV. Fancy a room? Carry the stench that lasts for days. Need some help from the odorant sprays. Drops the baddie, ship ahoy. Just another lad boy. His catchphrases are inane and brain dead. Get the money, get out of bed. Quality items I wouldn't have thought so. Wow. His appeal is hardly universal. He videotapes raw commercials. How in the world did he get on the breakfast show? How? That's the money. Hey, you market. Woohoo! Over Sigmund. Ooh, why? Thomas,
Brian?
Well, I'm waiting for them to write another album so that we can rip that off as well.
Following the triumph of Glastonbury Festival, the Shirehorses were at last on the world stage. A new multi-dozen-pound contract at East West Records followed, with a star-studded album launch at the exclusive 100 Club on London's Oxford Street. Pat Coop.
You chose the 100 Club on Oxford Street to launch your new album. What is it about the club that attracts even bands with your stadium status?
It's quite reasonable, isn't it? How much was it? It's 80 quid for the night, I think.
Pies. They had pies on it.
They had free pies.
When you go through the hallowed portholes of the 100 Club, you do feel echoes of the past there, don't you?
Yeah.
Because, you know, people will go on and on about, you know, Stones having played there, and the Pistols having played there,
Yeah.
too, you know.
Big
I'd just
deal.
like to say, you know, Bob Kerr's Whoopee Band have played there, you know.
Yeah, the Knights did 2 weeks there.
You know.
And I actually had a word with Noddy Hodler of Slade, and he actually was talking it through about the different venues, and he pointed out probably the most sort of important and pertinent fact about the 100 Club, which sort of made it sort of the place to do, which is the fact that there's a bus stop right outside the front door.
As Mick Hucknall rubbed shoulders with the likes of Brian Mulcahy and Harry White, Mark Lard introduced the band as they unveiled a rare performance from their back catalogue. Luckily, the gig was captured for posterity by the prestigious Finnish rock station Radio Trend.
Radio Trend. Nauhoitettu klubissa nimeltä 100 Club paikassa, jossa ovat esiintyneet muun muassa suurista suurin The Rolling Stones, The Sex Pistols ja bändi, jota on tarpeetonta kai edes mainita, Popcast Whoopie Band. Nyt viemme teidät suoraan paikan päälle. Maailman paras bändi ever.
Once again, the 100 Club, history in the making, 1963, the Stones played here, 1977, the Pistols, and tonight a band, only their second gig, they headlined Glastonbury, but quite graciously offered to go on second in the afternoon, and they've also played in Birmingham. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on rock and roll history in the making, the Shirehorses! Right then, okay, this is a song about Manchester City when Alan Ball was the manager. I shall be taking the part of alleged football manager Alan Ball. My good friend Mark Lard will be taking the part of Manchester City chairman Francis Lee. Thanks very much. The Battle of Franilli.
97 to 99 FM.
Going down, little Franilli, down to Division 3. We've only one lad who isn't half bad, and that's little George King Clancy. And at first the crowd roared, but now they just bark and sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. This is the ballad of Franilli. Take it, Franny.
I can't go down and I won't go down. I've spent 12 million quid on City of the money I've made in the bond paper trade.
Well, hell, don't you blame me. And at first the crowd roared, now they just bark and sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. Bring me the head of Franilli. Franilli on lead guitar.
Call yourself a manager, you little tosspot. Your voice hasn't broken, your balls haven't dropped. You won the World Cup in your stupid white boots. Now you turn up for work in black caps and Chelsea.
Well, here's a home truth, you put a base on that twang. Deeply ironic indeed. From the profitable caper, no selling bond paper, you've landed us deep in the shit. And at first the crowd roared, now just bark and sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la. King of the kick-ass is Franilli. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la.
King of the shithouse is Franilli.
Jos tämä laulu muistutti teitä biisistä Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, et ole todellakaan.
The new album caught the mood of the nation. It spent some time above number 23 in the album charts, reaching the coveted Isle of Man #1 slot. People would remember just where they were when they first heard the revolutionary new material. And no one had better reason to do so than Harry Enfield.
I'd just drunk a bottle of whiskey. I was on the edge of a cliff. I was at my lowest ebb ever. And I was on the top of the cliff, just about to jump off. And I was listening to the Two Marks on the radio. Well, that was on in the car at the time. And then they played a record by the Shirehorses. And I think it was Peter Tater they played. And it was so good that I decided not to kill myself and to come back and to become a comedian. And it's really the Shirehorses are responsible for my entire career.
Like the flowers in the scent of summer, mystic oriental spice. Shall we take a pilgrimage to our spiritual Mecca? Oh, bollocks to it, let's have curry and rice. Chicken
Potato chips, papadum-tala.
Meditating with the Maharishi. Live a life that's pure and sparse. Lamb jalfrezi and 15 pints of lager sends a message to your arse.
Bindi badi papadum-tala. Takadao papadum-tala. Takadiota papadum-tala. Ten and sexta papadum-tala.
Harry Enfield is just another of those who came to worship, isn't he, really?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some people have, you know, often said there's a comic element to what we do. And I think there is a tragicomic element.
Bob Mortimer.
Well, to be honest, a lot of the early stuff we did, it wasn't so much nicked from them, but we adapted our stuff. Do you know what I mean? I know it's quite an admission, but we just changed their stuff a bit, and we're not alone in doing that.
Pat Coop asked the band about their new direction.
Has there always been a mystic Eastern element to your music?
Well, not always.
No, there was just when we saw a gap in the market and went for it. You know, we invented the Asian rock crossover, really. It was around the time when we first started importing Baltis into the West Midlands. You know. We'd seen a vacant shop unit there, and we thought, well, we'll get all these Findus menu masters and pretend that they came from Bangladesh.
I mean, it goes to show how important we are, because we were only Asian for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And we started all this, you know, George Harrison to pop in for a Balti, you know. And, I mean, the worst part of it all was, I mean, we were doing the rounds, you know, and I was doing the sort of clubs with a sitar. And I was going out under the name of Navi Wacker. Now, there was a little fella there one day, and he looked very holy, and he was a nice enough guy, got the beer in. I saw him do the very same act about 4 weeks later as Ravi Shankar.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Because of that, do you feel you've successfully bridged cultural boundaries?
I think cultural boundaries is something that we don't recognise.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of music out there, you know. I mean, if you look at all the main forms of music, you know, Asian, folk, heavy metal, strict tempo.
Yeah.
Right.
Pop. Sheet music. What are you laughing at?
Then, you know, they see them laid out there like that. Now then,
you've got me the wrong order.
No. Let me just see. Do you see a boundary between them?
There isn't a boundary.
There isn't a boundary between them.
There isn't a boundary.
There isn't a boundary there.
In celebration of their triumph, the Shirehorses penned perhaps the greatest ode to life on the road ever written. A new greater highway lay before them, and as they sang in words which would have done Bob Dylan proud, now we know where we're going, our kid.
You see, a song like Now I Know Where I'm Going, our kid,
yeah.
You know, that was an attempt to really kind of translate the experiences of being on the road, you know, Mark and Lard, our struggle, really, and, you know, and triumph over adversity.
I mean, the thing is that what you've got to remember, particularly when you listen to a poignant song like Now I Know Where I'm Going, our kid, is that the road took the best of us. You know, Jimmy, Janice, Brian,
Beryl.
You know, and that really is the sort of, it brings a tear to my eye, because, you know, we nearly died once, didn't we?
Well, we did, yeah. I don't, you know.
It's a bit downbeat, this.
I think it is a bit downbeat.
I think we should pick it up a bit. Ask us about the music. It's all about music anyway.
Eyesight's crap and he hasn't got a map, just take me home. Bodley Salterton?
Yeah, that's just outside Scotland.
It's absolutely nowhere near it. Just turn the van round and get me back.
Look here, Bideford, 4 miles.
Chris Helm of the Seahorses.
Well, it has to be said, when I first heard Mark's voice, it inspired me greatly to actually try and emulate him as much as possible because, you know, it's just that raw talent there. And it's a shame that it's all come out in the light now that, you know, I have actually stolen a lot of ideas from them too, and, you know, it's embarrassing now, really, because now my career's sort of over, I suppose.
Fans who had previously shunned the horse rushed to clamber aboard. Chris Helm's brave tribute opened the floodgates, and first in line were Blur, who suggested a joint tour of the nation's greatest venues. Needless to say, Blur paid them the compliment of awarding them the best spot on the bill.
I mean, the thing is, you know, I have to go back to the Glastonbury experience, you know, best band goes on first, doesn't it? You know, everybody knows that. It's a well-known fact. I mean, you know, the fact we only played for 20 minutes, you know, and I think you'll find on some nights it was 22, you know, it's just because, you know, that we just, you don't want to be kind of too flash, do you?
No.
You know, I mean, Blur, they're only just starting. They're bound to be, you know, pretty iffy.
They've got it all to prove. Right?
Even press reaction offered a glowing endorsement. Stuart McConey.
You know, I think perhaps now, at last, I get the impression that they and public taste are coinciding for perhaps the first and last time, and, you know, and I think they've really got to go for it now, and, you know, I think it's nice to see that Blur have helped them out in a big way like this, and I think it is genuinely down to Blur recognising musical talent and not it being nothing to do with the fact that the Shirehorses have certain pictures in their possession that I think Blur would rather not see go to the newspapers.
Damon Albarn of Blur.
Well, you know, I know that the lads have got a good musical pedigree, so I felt whatever they did, there'd be some sort of quality to it.
As the band took the stage at Manchester's 9X Arena, Mark was unflustered by the occasion.
It's only a small crowd, 16,000. You know, I mean, we played to crowds of 2.2 million in Osaka. This is nothing. I mean, in fact, the bar was bigger than this at Osaka. So, you know, we're ready to rock. We are ready to rock, you know.
Damon Albarn again.
I think by the reaction tonight, you know, they're on the cusp of something great.
Yeah! Let me hear you say, yeah! We are the Shirehorses, and we have come to kick some bucket tonight. We are the greatest rock and roll band in the world. Ever! Prepare to be amazed. Yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4!
What is it about the Shirehorses live experience which you feel has never been captured in the recording studio?
Talent, musical ability, charisma, sexual potency, devil worship, virgin sacrifice. No, you're just being crass now.
It's not captured anything. There's plenty of about, isn't there, at the gigs?
How's that then?
Oh, there's lots of in the audience.
You're going too far now.
Oh, you just don't see it, mate.
You are going too far now. You really are.
So why have the horse finally made it? Noddy Holder.
They've always been ahead of the time. They've never really been frightened to stretch the barriers of music and take it that one step further, and I think it takes a long time for the public to catch on with that sort of band.
Bob Mortimer summed up their appeal.
I think it's just because they're like so well-rounded. You know, they're not that attractive, but they're attractive. They're not that funny, but they're funny. You know, they're not that sporty, but they're quite sporty. You know, they're not that fast, say over 60 yards, but they're all right. You know, it's a good package. You know, I'm not saying that the Shirehorses is just about packaging.
It would have been wonderful if we could have ended the story here, but as we went to air, the news reached us, which most of the world must by now have heard. The pressures of such limitless fame and adulation have taken a terrible toll, and the band have gone their separate ways. The press conference has just ended.
I mean, that was, you know, after all this time, you know, it just seemed a suitable time to bow out, really. We just thought that, yeah, you know, we've done it all. We've really kind of scaled the heights. We've, you know, I mean, I've got plans. I mean, I've got a solo project that's been on the back boiler for quite a long time, really, which is I'm going to be, I want to do a choral version of some Led Zeppelin songs. Led Zeppelin, I'm calling myself, you know. Come on, you know, like Walking in the Air, like that, but a bit kind of more, bit heavier. You know, a bit heavier. I've been wanting to do that for quite a long time.
Yeah. And I'm doing the clubs probably as Perry Combe over. which is sort of like the mature market. Cruises, stuff like that, you know.
And then probably we'll get back together as the Shirehorses.
With the original lineup.
With an original lineup, probably, you know, I'd say mid-January.
A very emotional Stuart McConey.
A lot of things are beckoning for them now, that kind of showbiz celebrity circuit. There's been talk of them doing the National Lottery, things like that. There's been talk of them having their own cookery spin-off thing on Channel 5 during the day. That could go to their head, I think, and I really hope it doesn't, because as I said, they've always been fairly cantankerous northern bastards, and I think it would be a shame if they became anything else, really.
For many people, the Shirehorses' lasting contribution to 19th and 20th century culture goes beyond having made some of the greatest records ever. It's their role as prophets, seers and mystics that has made them modern-day icons. Let's leave the last word with Mark and Lard and a deep insight into what makes the Shirehorses' clock tick, whir and eventually go bong.
I mean, a lot of people, you know, get famous just as a byproduct of what it is they do. Now, some people, you know, see that byproduct as just a useless, well, byproduct. Yeah. Like, for example, you know, if you were making towers and you had a lot of scraps of steel left over.
Yeah.
Right, some people would throw that steel away.
Right.
Other people would fashion a beautiful sculpture of, like, perhaps a mermaid.
Right.
And the mermaid might, in the end, be more famous than the tower.
So you think about that?
Yeah.